You would probably spend anywhere from about $4,000 to $10,000 to have those panels removed, have the roof done, and then replaced. So what does replacing a roof with solar look like? Well, let's break it down. Will I actually need to replace my roof when I have solar panels on them? The answer to that depends on how old the roof actually is when the panels are installed originally. So roofing experts will say that a typical asphalt shingle roof will last anywhere from about 15 to 30 years, depending on the quality of equipment and type of asphalt shingle that you're using. Solar panels simply come with a 25-year warranty, although that is 30 years if it's protected by a warranty like SI30 Solar from Solar Insure, and have a useful life somewhere in the 35 plus year range, although degradation does start to set in at a certain point. So knowing the lifespan of panels, if your roof is really older than 5 to 10 years when you get your solar panels installed, it's likely that you're going to have to replace that roof at some point during the tenure on your roof. Now, a common thing that some people, the sales reps may say is, well, you get a lot longer life because the panels are protecting the roof. It's technically true. The roof that's underneath the panels is not as exposed to severe weather, but unless your entire roof space edge to edge is completely covered with panels, there's more roof that still is going to get damaged at some point and potentially be replaced. And at that point, a roofing company is probably unlikely to just replace a small section. They're going to want to do the entire thing, as your insurance might also want to do. Taking the panels off and putting them back on in the industry is commonly called a remove and replace. And the cost of remove and replace can vary wildly depending on different factors. There's the angle of your panel, how many roof planes there are, the size of the panels. There's a lot that contractors can file into that. But to simplify things, most solar companies will break it down into a per panel cost so that they can easily say, hey, if you've got X number of panels, it's going to cost this much per panel. So Home Guide has a study out that they say the average remove and replace cost is about between $200 and $500 per panel. So let's take, for example, and say you have an 8 kilowatt system with 400 watt panels. That would be 20 panels on your system. So that could mean you would probably spend anywhere from about $4,000 to $10,000 to have those panels removed, have the roof done, and then replaced. Of course, that cost does not include the roof itself. That's an additional cost on you unless your solar contractor is also in roofing. It's pretty rare that warranties are actually going to cover remove and replace. You may find the odd company that doesn't include that in workmanship warranties or in extra service agreements, but for the most part, most warranties are not going to include that cost just because it's not something that always happens with every single installed system. So if you're getting your panels removed and replaced, here are a couple of tips to keep in mind so the process is smooth and easy. Number one is, if possible, work with your original installer. The people that installed your equipment the first time know how it went in, where the attachments are, and are going to be best suited to take it off. And it's not always possible because some companies go out of business, but if you can, your original installer is probably the best person to do a remove and replace if they offer that service. Number two is to check with your homeowner's insurance. We always recommend that solar panels are covered under or included in a homeowner's insurance policy because those protect from external threats, acts of God, fire, floods, storms, that type of thing. And in some cases, insurance companies will actually pay for some or all of the cost to remove and then replace those panels. Depends on the reason for the roof. If you're just re-roofing to re-roof, they're probably not going to pay for that. But if the roof is getting replaced because of a insurance type damage, they may also pay for the solar panels. So check with your insurance provider if you're going through this. And number three is have the installer create a site map. Now, a site map can be just some stickers on a piece of cardboard, but it's something that's commonly made by installers when they put in solar systems so they can actually see where the different equipment is. This is really important for monitoring purposes so that your installer can properly set up your monitoring so you know where each piece of equipment is. The microinverters or optimizers or panels themselves can have their warranty stickers right on a little cardboard map that the installers take back to their office or even scan directly on site to set up. When you're doing it remove and replace, make sure that if this is not already made, the installer makes one, or if they are changing something around, that they notate that on the map so they can properly set up monitoring. If your monitoring screwed up and there's a problem with your system, you're not going to know where that is. It's going to cost a lot more labor to try and diagnose and repair issues. At the end of the day, re-roofing with solar is unfortunately just a natural part of it. Anything that's going to be up on your roof is going to have to also deal with roofing costs. Solar as a whole has a huge potential to save homeowners tons of money. So depending on where your roof is, you may have to re-roof, you may not, but it still should not outweigh the savings that you'll get long-term from solar. And of course, The option always exists for a ground mount. If you have enough room in your system and in your home and in your AHJ, you could potentially mount those panels on the ground and avoid any of those roofing costs. But that's a different topic for a different video. If you found this helpful, hopefully you did. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and catch our other videos about solar tips.